Alright, this week we're going to be discussing why selling is so important. But before we discuss that, I wanted to go over some upcoming events. This is our second week of class. We'll be going over why sales. Hopefully you read Module 1 to prepare. We will have a knowledge check in the class, and you'll also have it as a homework assignment. Friday skills assistance. It's not anything where I send out a Skype meeting. I'm just going to be logged into Skype from 10:30 to 11:30 on Fridays. If you have any questions, just send me a Skype message and maybe we can start a meeting if necessary, if I can't answer it through that. If that doesn't work for you, we can set up an appointment. But the important thing is that I want you to make sure that you reach out to me if you have any questions about anything. And then out of class, you have prepare for a reflection assignment, which I'll go over a little bit how to get to. And then that'll be due before next week's class, which is February 7th at 11:59 p.m. So let's move on. So the upcoming assignments, again, you have a knowledge check and sales skills, which is the reflection. To get to the knowledge check, you go into Module 1, Assignments, and you see M1 Sales Skills. And then also in there, up under there, there will be a knowledge check. So Module 1, Assignments, Sales Skills, and Knowledge Check. For the Module 2 Reflection, which is due week 7 class session, which is February 21st, you go to the Module 2, click on Assignments, and the reflection is right here. For the portfolio assignment, all of that information, if you need to know what the directions are or want to see the rubric, that's available in Module 1 in the assignment. So again, you go to Module 1, Assignments, and you can either click on the portfolio project document or the portfolio project template. Those are all located in Module 1. For the assignment that's due week 5, this is part of the portfolio assignment. So that's also in Module 1 where you go to the portfolio. But this kind of lists all of the what's expected to be turned in with that assignment. So read through that at your earliest convenience. If you have questions after you read it, send me an email or come to the Friday, or I'm on Skype Fridays 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Some review from last week. Tracking calendar has all of the assignments. I had to move some things around to kind of accommodate some of the holidays that we had off. Try to fit it into the calendar. Always look at that to see what's due, when it's due, and what's expected. Blackboard, there will be a knowledge check in there, group activity, as well as a journal entry activity. Student skills assistance, again, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on Friday. Some things to make a note of: market share essays due week 7, and your prospecting chart report is due week 10. The portfolio project is going to be semester long, so you have the whole semester to work on that. So as far as late assignments, you have up to 3 days to complete an assignment, unless we discuss extending that. But these are the days late and the deductions. All right, so what is selling and why is it so important? The reason it's so important is because selling is everywhere. Even if you don't have a career in sales, you're going to be selling something no matter what your job entails or whatever you're doing. An example of this would be a job interview. This gives you the opportunity to sell your skills and yourself to a possible employer. You may, if you are employed, you may be selling your boss an idea or trying to get an employee to follow a company policy. Selling is even important, even a part of our personal lives. Whether we're trying to persuade a family member or a friend to go out to eat at a certain restaurant or do a certain activity, we're selling something. We're trying to convince someone. In school, you might try to convince your instructor. Might not work with me, but you might try to convince your instructor to accept a late paper or to allow you, to get extra credit on an assignment. You can try it, might not work, but you're still selling or trying to convince someone to an idea that you have. Just think of a time when you were growing up, when you may have attempted to influence your parents to let you wear a certain outfit or stay out past your curfew. Again, you're selling an idea. So selling is everywhere, regardless of, whether you're working in a sales job or whether you're trying to get a sales job. You're always selling. The purpose of this class, it should raise your comfort level with selling an idea that you may have. Your ideas, or maybe even a product or a service that you might have an idea about that you want to try to convince your classmates. If you're trying to start a business, you might try to convince your classmates to try. There's no limit to what you can accomplish with some successful selling skills. The principles that we're going to discuss in this class should equip you with the basic knowledge of selling. And these principles should help you in all areas of your life. Now, often when people think of selling, they think of someone who's fast talking, someone who doesn't listen, or someone who's trying to be pushy to try to get you to buy something, like a used car salesperson. However, professional salespeople understand that selling is not only about the salesperson or the products that they offer. It's about fulfilling a customer need or solving a customer's problems. Now, by having effective sales skills, people know that, so those effective salespeople know that sales is about being a partner to a customer, not just trying to sell, but also be a partner, try to understand what that customer wants. A good sales professional knows that their success is measured by their ability to help others get what they want. Now, successful salespeople, they do a lot of research before going out on a presentation. And before saying a word about their product, they always ask a series of questions to see if, what they want to, how they want to present, an ideal or a product to the customer. They interview prospects to make sure that they understand their needs, and they try to cater their presentation to answer any of those needs so that the sale is mutually beneficial to both parties. So some careers that are available, or that are available in the sales career field. One is a sales representative who does, presentation, they promote, and they sell products or services. An account manager is someone that manages the sales and the relationship with the customer through communications, through emails, through phone calls, through, Skype meetings or, virtual meetings. They act like a liaison between the customer and the business that's trying to sell the product or service. A sales executive, they generate leads for sales, and they follow up with the customers, and they try to maintain a good relationship with the potential customer to try to secure their business. Now, some perks that come along with being a salesperson is most salespeople have the freedom to set their own hours. They have a lot of cash or product incentives if they meet certain quotas or if they maintain a certain performance. They have monthly allowances to cover their expenses, whether it's a cell phone, whether it's their cable or their internet access. I don't know too many people that use landlines, but if you have a landline, the company might pay for that landline, any postages, any office supplies, that you might need to use to get a potential sale. So the incentives, you get a lot of incentives, and you get a lot of monthly allowances to cover any expenses. You also get a lot of recognition, for the most part, when you do a good job. So the recognition is usually there because the thing is, the employer or the business wants to promote, confidence in the salesperson, and a way of doing that is by recognizing any type of achievements that salesperson might have. Some of the negative aspects of sales, sometimes it's stressful because you have to meet a lot of quotas, and you might not have time to for personal life, so you might be working a lot of hours and might be stressful. And then another thing that might not be a negative, but you have to get used to hearing the word no. You might have 10 leads, and out of those 10 leads, you might only get one yes, but you got 9 no's. So if you're not a motivated person and always wants to look for opportunity, constantly hearing no might not make you feel too happy, or might bring down your self-esteem or whatever. So you always have to get used to hearing the word no. All right, so a group of business owners and CEOs did a poll on what skill they felt led to their success. The skill that each one of them mentioned was sales. And the reason they mentioned this is because, like I said before, everyone at some point of their day or their life, they have to convince other people that their idea or their decision makes sense. So in essence, sales is a communication skill. So sales skills equal communication, because you're always communicating with someone when it comes to sales. As sales is critical for a business, so is communication. That skill is very critical in any business or career that you might go into, because you need to be able to get your point across or an ideal across to convince others that what you're saying is best for them. Some lessons that are learned from sales. The first one being you learn how to negotiate. Every sales job involves negotiating, whether it's you're negotiating with a customer, whether you're negotiating with a vendor on when they can get a certain product available for you, whether it's suppliers or whether it's a fellow employee. You always have to negotiate and get your point across. Salespeople, they learn how to listen very well, and they evaluate everything that they hear to overcome whatever obstacles they may have in hearing yes instead of no. Another thing that sales, you might learn in sales is you learn how to close a deal. So asking for what you want might be difficult at times for most people, but if you want to lead people, you have to be able to get others to agree with you and follow what you say. So again, sales is all about convincing people that what you have or what you're saying or your idea is better for them. Another lesson that you learn is persistence. Again, you hear no a lot when you're doing sales. You might have a 10% yes rate and a 90% no rate, but you hear no and no over again. Good salespeople learn how to take that no and make it into a challenge instead of viewing it as a rejection. So that you get more confidence in yourself. If you hear no, well, there's an opportunity to maybe turn that no into a yes. So you learn persistence with sales. All right, so what you're going to do right now, you're going to break out into your group sessions, and I'm going to email you a group project, and what you have to do is you have to answer, I think there's 2 questions in the project. Yeah, there's 2 questions in the project. You have to answer those questions. Each question, I'm expecting an answer of 100 words minimum. The heading for the group project, you want to include your group number, the members that are in attendance in that group meeting, today's date, the case name, because you're going to have to come back and discuss your answers. So you can decide who's going to present this week. Everybody's going to get an opportunity to present so that there's not just only one person presenting. In addition to presenting, you have to email me a Word document with your answers, which have to be at least 100 words each answer.